In our ongoing series of building the AR-15, we're now going to take a look at the buttstock. And there's lots of different options available, lots of different parts that are related to the stocks. And in this series we're going to go through and take a look at some of those. So we'll put the camera on a tripod and we'll take a closer look at stock options for the AR-15. When we're talking about stock options for the AR-15, there's lots of things to talk about. Let's start with the rifle length stock. And let's first off show that that's compared to the carbine length stock. And it's pretty obvious, but just for clarification, the carbine stock is collapsible, so it can extend and collapse on the receiver extension, or what many people call the buffer tube, and it can become an overall shorter rifle, or a carbine, or a carbine, depending on what part of the ocean you live on. Now on a rifle stock, there's no adjustability, so it's built a little bit differently. Of course, it looks different, and it's used differently. So this would be your standard AR-15 or your standard M16, and has a little bit more history to it than the carbine stocks. So a typical rifle stock, this is an early one before they had the trap door. It's a polymer or plastic. It's hollow. It's very strong. It's got a rubberized butt pad that's held on with a couple of screws. It's got a sling swivel for the military style sling. You'll notice there's no castle nut because it's not necessary. There are other styles of rifle stocks, such as this later one, and it's very similar, but it does have a trap door on the back for a cleaning kit. You could use a bullet, or in this case a pen, to kind of push down on the plunger and open up the door, and there's room in there for a cleaning kit with a collapsible cleaning rod, patches, and all the rest you'd need to maintain the rifle. This is a plastic butt pad with an aluminum door, and it's very solid, very grippy, but obviously it's just one length. Now if we're going to attach this one to a rifle, it's going to attach a little differently. As I mentioned, it doesn't need the castle nut or the receiver end plate, because the rifle is going to come right up and connect to the back of the lower receiver there. Those parts to secure the tube just aren't necessary. Instead, the tube is going to connect through this hole. The receiver extension on a rifle is going to fill the entire rifle stock and then come right to the back here, and a screw is just going to hold it into place. Now there's lots of different options for modern rifle stocks. One of the most popular would be this Magical PRS, and it has an adjustment for the cheek, an adjustment for the length of pull, or for the shoulder stock, for the length, for the height. It has mounts for the sling, has a place to use your offhand to pull it into your shoulder, and it's a little heavier than a typical stock. The rifles also use a longer buffer, and we'll talk a little bit more about buffers later. While there are lots of options for the rifle stocks, there's many more options for the carbine, which were probably 10 times more popular than the rifle stocks. The main advantages of a rifle stock are the ability to slam the rifle into the ground, which is sometimes necessary to clear a Type 3 malfunction, or when fighting with the rifle. So hopefully you found this review interesting, entertaining, and hopefully worthwhile to save you some money on a future build. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions or concerns, and what you may want to see in future videos. As always, thanks for watching. We'd like to thank again our friends at Tucson Guns, who encourage us to make these buyer's guides and give us some of the resources to do so. They definitely know their stuff about AR-15s, so if you're building an AR-15 or if you need parts, give them a call. Thanks again for watching.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.